Welcome to Auction Version 4, the latest event management software tool from Auction Systems. In this second tutorial in the winning bid activity in the Event Night series, I will show you the lists and the winning bid entry form that are available in the winning bid activity. This is the winning bid entry screen. On the top is the ribbon we discussed in the previous tutorial. On the left side of the screen is a list of items. In the center is the winning bid entry form, a register of the winning bid or bids for a selected item, and a panel for configuring preferences. And on the right side we have a list of potential purchasers or bidders. Let's start with the items. Above the list of items are some filter buttons. The default list that shows is the first button, which is all items that can be purchased in the bid board or super silent, retail, silent, and live item types. The second button, when selected, is to show only unsold items and items that can be purchased by more than one bidder that still have at least one unit unsold. The last filter button is to show only completely sold items. If you are not sure about the item number that you wish to enter a winning bid for, to find an item, you can start typing in a word that is in the item's short description, and Auction will find that item for you. The right side of the screen is a list of potential bidders, and by default the list of names shown is participants, which includes people that have a bid number and people who are marked as attending even if they don't have a bid number, and people that have already purchased items even if they don't have a bid number. The first button changes the list to all names of any type in your data set. This next filter will show only people who are attending the event with or without a bid number, or you can choose to see people who are not attending the event. This lower button filters the list to only people with bid numbers, or if you prefer, select only people without bid numbers. The last two filters show you people who have purchased something already and people with no purchases at all. If you cannot find the name you're looking for, start typing the name in the filter field and Auction will find the name for you. In the center is the form used to actually enter winning bids. When an item is selected, there is a very easy way to see if the item has been sold or not. If the item has not been sold, or if the item has more than one unit and there is still at least one unsold unit available, the top of the form will be in blue. If the item has been sold or there are no units left, this panel will be yellow. Whether the panel is blue or yellow, it will show a summary of the item including the item number, short description, the number of winning bids allowed, and if any units have been sold, and if any units remain. Below the summary we have item types: live, silent, bid board or super silent, and retail. There is a field for the item number which is a pull down with the list of all item numbers of the selected item type. There are two choices for the next two fields, for bidder number and bidder name. If you're assigning bid numbers to your guests, most likely you would want the top field to show bid number. You can enter a bid number by typing the number in this field, or you can select the bidders from the pull down. When you enter a bid number in the top field, the bottom field will auto-populate with that bidder's name and address. Maybe you don't want to give your attendees bid numbers. That's perfectly fine. In this case, set your preference so that the top field is for names and the bottom field is for bid numbers. Since you're not assigning bid numbers, the bid number field will remain blank, but when you pick the bidder's name from the pull-down, the bidder's address will still show below. The next field is for the quantity the bidder is purchasing. For most items, the quantity cannot be changed because only one item is available. If there is more than one unit available for this item, the quantity can be changed by typing in the number of units the purchaser is purchasing. Next is the amount field. This is for the dollar amount of the winning bid. If the item happens to have more than one unit available, instead of the one field for amount, the amount box changes into a math formula. You enter the unit price if it's different from the minimum bid price that has already been set for the item, and Auction will calculate the total amount that the purchaser must pay for the item based on the number of units times the unit price. In order to save a winning bid, Auction requires that there must be traceability to who is actually entering the winning bid. This is a pull-down list of names, or more likely initials, of the people who have entered transactions in this data set so far. If you do not see your initials in the pull-down, add them by clicking the plus sign. You will only have to select yourself once in a session of using auction on the same computer, but of course if you go to a different computer, select your initials if someone else's initials are in this field. When the winning bid has been saved, this lower portion of the screen is a register showing the winning bid or bids for this item. Occasionally, you may need to revise the quantity of units for this item or the way the item is shared. That is what this button is for. It takes you to the item entry form for the item itself, where you can change the quantity or shares. When would you need to do this? Well, maybe two different bidders would like to split the item, but it is currently entered as a single unit with one bidder. Before entering the first winning bid, simply click this button and change the item form to allow 2 shares of the item. Or maybe this is a live item and the donor of the item is in the room. The item sold for so much that the auctioneer asked the donor right then and there during the auction if the donor would offer another item or two just like it. If the donor agrees, revise the item to 2 or whatever additional numbers of units you need. In the next tutorial in the Winning Bid Entry series, I will show you the Preferences panel for winning bid entry. Thank you for joining us.